You probably know someone who never talks about money, never shows off, but whenever they need it, the money's always there. They're 50, 60 years old, and they live stress-free. Their secret is a business that sounds boring. I'm not talking about boring as in bad. They live well, they travel, they owe nothing. I'm talking about businesses that sound so ordinary that 99% of people would never even consider them. And that's exactly why they work so well. After studying the businesses with the highest survival rates in the United States, I identified 20 that almost nobody talks about. Some of these are going to make you uncomfortable because you probably see them as jobs and not as businesses. And that mindset is exactly what's costing you money. If you're only going to remember one, make it the last one. It's the most counterintuitive and the one that builds the most wealth. Let's get into it. The first forgotten business is laundromats. And hear this stat before you write it off. Laundromats have a success rate of 94.8% at the 5-year mark. That means out of every 100 people who open one, nearly 95 are still operating after 5 years. Compare that to the overall average, where nearly half of all businesses close in that same period. The laundromat industry in the United States is worth over $5 billion a year, and a well-run laundromat can generate over $300,000 annually with 50% margins. 90% of customers are repeat customers. You don't have to convince anyone to wash their clothes. Clothes get dirty on their own. Number 2. Automated car washes. The car wash industry in the United States surpassed $15 billion in 2025. A single automated car wash can generate between $150,000 and $200,000 in profit per year. And the best part, once it's set up, it practically runs itself. People want their car clean, but they don't want to wash it. Simple as that. And here's a stat I find fascinating. John Derry, an entrepreneur who started with a single car wash, scaled his operation to nearly $6 million in annual revenue with margins above 20%. His secret? He didn't reinvent anything. He standardized his processes and replicated them. Zero disruptive innovation, pure consistent execution. And notice something. Most car washes now operate on membership models. You pay between $20 and $40 a month and wash your car whenever you want. That gives the owner a predictable income every single month, rain or shine. Number 3. Vending machines. This is one of my favorites because you can get started with less than $10,000. A single machine can generate around $30,000 a year with 30% margins. And here's the interesting part. There are operators making $700,000 a year working just 2 days a week. Their secret isn't one machine. It's 30 or 40 machines in strategic locations. All you have to do is negotiate the location, a gym, a hotel, an office building, stock the machine, and collect. You don't need employees, you don't need an office, you don't need prior experience. And here's a twist most people don't know about: specialty vending machines. I'm not talking about Coke and chips. I'm talking about beauty product machines in salons, bait machines in fishing areas, electronics machines in airports. The more specific the niche, the less competition, and the higher the margin. Number 4. Trash hauling. Yes, trash. Waste Management, a company that literally picks up garbage, generated over $20 billion in revenue last year. Contracts renew automatically. Trash never stops existing. I'm not saying you should compete with Waste Management, but you can start with a truck, a couple of bins, and offer junk removal services in your area. There are operators billing $3 million a year with this model. Someone's trash is literally your income. Number 5. Pressure washing. You can start this business with less than $5,000. A solid pressure washer, a truck, and business cards. You charge between $200 and $500 per job. Cleaning driveways, patios, house facades. What makes this business special is that customers call you every season. And once you clean one house in a neighborhood, the neighbors see the results and call you too. You don't need advertising. Your work speaks for itself. Number 6. Self-storage units. The storage industry in the United States generates over $45 billion a year. 1 in 10 American households rents a unit. The average net margin is 41%. You know what's wild? There are more storage units in the United States than McDonald's and Starbucks locations combined. And the majority, over 70%, are still operated by independent owners, not big chains. That means there's still room to get in. But what really impresses me about this business is the customer profile. The average customer pays $128 a month and stays for 14.5 months. Some customers have been paying for years. They literally forget what they have stored, but keep paying. That's recurring income at its finest. And with the trend of people living in smaller spaces, especially in big cities, demand just keeps growing. Number 7. Pest control. This industry is worth nearly $30 billion in the United States. It's projected to reach $40 billion by 2030. There are more than 34,000 companies in the country, and most of them are local, small, run by 1 or 2 people. What's so special about it? Recurring revenue. 85% of residential income in this industry comes from recurring service contracts. That means a customer pays you every month automatically without you having to sell them anything again. And pests, like trash, never stop existing. Number 8. Landscaping. Every time you drive through an American suburb, you see trucks with trailers full of mowers. You know why? Because it works. This is a monthly contract business. Once you land 20, 30, 40 accounts, you have a predictable income. And the barrier to entry is low: a commercial mower, a blower, and the willingness to work. A lot of people are already in this space, but most of them make the same mistake. They keep charging like employees instead of thinking like business owners. The difference between making $40,000 a year mowing lawns and making $200,000 is simple: systemize and hire. Stop being the one who mows and become the one who manages the people who mow. When you make that mental shift from operator to owner, the business takes off. And suddenly that lawn care job becomes a landscaping company worth $500,000. Number 9. Commercial cleaning. I'm not talking about cleaning houses, although that works too. I'm talking about contracts with offices, medical facilities, schools, buildings. A single contract with an office building can pay you between $3,000 and $10,000 a month. And once you land it, it renews automatically year after year. This is a business where a lot of people already have the experience but haven't made the leap. What's missing isn't knowledge, it's mindset. The difference between charging by the hour as an employee and charging by the contract as an owner can mean tripling your income doing the exact same work. Number 10. Pool cleaning. Especially if you live in states like Florida, Texas, Arizona, or California. There are over 10 million residential pools in this country, and most owners don't want to clean them themselves. A pool tech with 40 clients can earn between $80,000 and $120,000 a year working half days. It's a route-based business. You show up, clean, collect, and move on to the next one, and customers pay you year-round, not just in summer, because the pool needs maintenance even when it's not being used. Number 11. Mobile auto detailing. It's like a car wash, but you go to the customer. A full detail can cost between $150 and $400. And you can do 3 or 4 a day. That's between $450 and $1,600 per day, with minimal operating costs. All you need is a van or truck equipped with your supplies. No storefront, no rent, no building permits. Just do excellent work, and the customers refer you on their own. Number 12. Scrap metal recycling. The global scrap recycling market is projected to reach $771 billion by 2032. That sounds far off, but the opportunity is right here, right now, in your city. You can start as a middleman. You collect scrap from construction sites, remodels, and factories, and sell it to recycling plants. There's a concept called urban ore, because electronic waste contains precious metals like gold, silver, and copper. What people throw away, you turn into money. Number 13. Ice vending machines. This might sound strange, but each ice machine can generate over $40,000 a year. They run 24/7, no employees needed. The machine costs around $35,000 and pays for itself in 12 to 18 months. They're especially profitable in the southern United States and in areas with campgrounds and RV parks. You produce ice, which is basically frozen water, and sell it. That simple. That boring. That profitable. Number 14. ATMs. You can buy an ATM for between $2,000 and $3,000. Place it in a local business, a convenience store, a bar, a gas station, and charge between $2 and $3 per transaction. A well-placed ATM can generate between $500 and $1,500 a month. It's not a fortune with a single machine. But with 10 or 15, you're talking about serious income, completely passive. All you have to do is refill them with cash and collect your fees. Number 15. And this is one nobody wants to talk about. Portable restrooms. Yes, porta potties. Every event, every construction site, every festival needs restrooms. And someone has to provide them. That someone could be you. A unit costs between $500 and $1,000. You rent it out for between $75 and $175 per day. An operator with 50 units can easily generate six-figure revenue. Glamorous? No. Profitable? Absolutely. Number 16. Pet waste removal. Before you laugh, hear me out. There are over 90 million households with dogs in the United States. Most of those owners hate picking up waste from the yard. There are companies charging between $15 and $25 per weekly visit. Do the math. 50 clients at $20 a week is $4,000 a month, or $48,000 a year. With 100 clients, you're at $96,000. And all you need to get started is a bag, a scooper, and zero misplaced pride. Number 17. Parking lot striping. Every shopping center, every strip mall, every church, every school needs their parking lot lines painted and visible. It's a legal requirement in many states. The basic equipment costs between $3,000 and $5,000. A single job can pay you between $500 and $2,000 in one afternoon. And the competition is minimal because almost nobody even knows this business exists. Number 18. Appliance repair. Washers, dryers, refrigerators, dishwashers. When they break down, people need someone to fix them today. Not tomorrow, not next week. Today. And they're willing to pay between $100 and $400 per visit. With current inflation, replacing a refrigerator costs between $1,500 and $3,000. Repairing it costs $200. Who do you think they're going to call first? Demand never drops because appliances always break down. Always. And here's the thing. Most current technicians are aging out and retiring, and very few young people are entering the trade. That means less competition with each passing year. If you learn to repair 3 or 4 common appliances, which you can learn through YouTube courses and basic certifications, you have a business for life. Number 19. Notary public and loan signing agent. This is one of the easiest and cheapest businesses to start on this entire list. Getting certified as a notary costs between $50 and $150 depending on the state. Once certified, you can charge between $75 and $200 per document signing. And if you specialize in mortgage closings, you can charge between $125 and $300 per appointment. 3 or 4 signings a day and you're generating between $500 and $1,200 daily. No inventory, no office, no employees. Just you, a stamp, and documents. And here's an angle almost nobody mentions. If you speak more than one language, you have a massive competitive advantage. There are millions of people buying homes in the United States who prefer or need a notary who speaks their language. That opens up a market that most notaries simply can't access. And number 20, the last one, the one I told you to remember, is a wash and fold delivery service. Why did I save this one for last? Because it combines everything that makes the other 19 businesses powerful: recurring income, low competition, constant demand, and something most people overlook: convenience. We live in an era where people pay extra to not have to do things. They pay to have food delivered. They pay to have their dog walked. They pay to have their house cleaned. And their laundry. Most people still do it themselves, but that's changing fast. You don't need to own a physical laundromat. You can partner with one that already exists, offer the pickup and delivery service, and keep a margin of 30 to 40%. An operator with 100 recurring clients paying between $30 and $50 a week is generating between $12,000 and $20,000 a month. No storefront, no machines, just logistics, customer service, and consistency. This is what Walker Deibel calls in his book, Buy Then Build an Acquisition Business. You don't need to invent anything. You just need to take something that already exists and add value to it. In this case, the value is convenience. And let me tell you something. In most mid-sized cities in this country, this service barely exists yet. The opportunity is literally waiting for someone to grab it. Think about it like this. You combine business number 1, the laundromat, with a delivery service, and suddenly you have a business model that generates recurring income without having to invest in equipment. It's like being the bridge between the customer and the laundromat, and charging for that connection. Now, I want to pause before I keep going, because I know what you're thinking. The same thing I used to think when I saw lists like this. Sounds great, David, but where do I even start? And my answer is simple. Don't start with all 20. Start with one. The one that fits your situation, your area, your budget, and, this is important, what you're willing to do without feeling embarrassed. Because the truth is, most of these businesses require you to get your hands dirty, knock on doors, and do things that don't look cool in an Instagram photo. And that's exactly what drives the competition away and leaves the path wide open for you. When I first started studying business, I wanted what everyone wants. The cool business. The one that sounds impressive when you bring it up at a dinner party. I wanted to say, I have a tech startup, not, I own a laundromat. And that mindset cost me years. Because while I was chasing the perfect idea, the people who are financially comfortable today were out there doing the boring stuff. They were buying the laundromat on the corner. They were placing vending machines in gyms. They were striping parking lots on Saturdays. And there's something Thomas Stanley identified in The Millionaire Next Door that always stuck with me. Most millionaires in the United States didn't inherit their money and don't work in glamorous industries. They own businesses that solve simple, everyday problems that never go away. Businesses that don't need the economy to be booming to work because people will always need to wash their clothes, control their pests, and take out their trash. And here's something few people know. According to SBA data, by 2026, 94% of small business owners project growth, the highest number ever recorded. 56% are already using artificial intelligence to optimize operations, and 79% anticipate increased revenue. You know what that means? There has never been a better time to start a business in this country. The tools are there. The demand is there. The only thing missing is for you to stop waiting and start. And you know what the irony is? The businesses with the highest growth projections aren't in tech or social media. They're in services. The boring ones. The ones that solve real, tangible problems that people need solved today, not tomorrow, not in 5 years, today. And so all of this doesn't just stay as theory. Let me tell you the story of two people I know well. Daniel is 42 years old. He works in construction and makes about $55,000 a year. Solid paycheck, honest work. But Daniel has been wanting to start a business for 5 years and has never done it. Why? Because every time he thinks about a business, he compares himself to what he sees on social media. He wants an online store, a personal brand, a podcast, something that looks professional. And because none of those ideas turn out perfect, he does nothing. He keeps waiting for the ideal moment, the ideal idea, the ideal amount of capital. Meanwhile, Daniel spends $200 a month on subscriptions he doesn't use, $400 a month eating out, and doesn't have a single dollar working for him outside of his paycheck. In 5 years, Daniel has spent over $36,000 on things that generated absolutely nothing for him. That amount, $36,000, is exactly what he needed to buy an automated car wash, 10 vending machines, or start 3 service businesses from scratch. Alex is the same age. He also makes about $55,000 a year as a maintenance technician. But 3 years ago, Alex did something Daniel would never do. He bought a pressure washer for $3,500, printed business cards for $30, and started knocking on doors in his neighborhood offering driveway and patio washing. The first month, he made $800 extra. His hands shook every time he knocked on a door. He told me that himself. But he kept going. By the 3rd month, he was at $2,400. By the 6th month, a contract with a homeowners association gave him 20 houses at once. Today, 3 years later, Alex has 2 employees, a fully equipped truck, and bills over $180,000 a year with his pressure washing business, on top of his regular job, which he's already considering leaving. Alex didn't have a perfect business plan. He didn't have a logo designed by an agency. He didn't have a fancy website. He didn't have a mentor or a $2,000 course. He had a pressure washer, an old truck, and the willingness to do the work that other people are too proud to do. The difference between Daniel and Alex? It's not talent. It's not luck. It's not education. It's that Alex understood something Daniel still hasn't accepted. Boring businesses pay for exciting lives. Daniel is still searching for the perfect idea. Alex already has 3 years of recurring clients, steady cash flow, and the peace of mind of knowing that if he loses his job tomorrow, his business holds him up. Alex is already looking at his second truck, already training a third employee, and already thinking about adding roof cleaning to his menu, because his own customers keep asking for it. And that, to me, is real wealth. It's not the amount of money. It's the absence of fear. It's knowing that no matter what happens, recession, layoff, emergency, you have something of your own that sustains you. Look, I'm not telling you to go out tomorrow and buy a laundromat or quit your job to haul scrap metal. What I'm telling you is to open your eyes to the opportunities that already exist around you, the ones nobody brags about, the ones that don't show up on TikTok, the ones that don't have an influencer selling you a $2,000 course on how to do them. Of the 20 businesses I showed you today, at least 5 you can start with less than $5,000. At least 3 you can start this weekend, and all of them, every single one, have one thing in common. They solve a problem that's never going away. Clothes always get dirty. Cars always get dirty. Pests always come back. Trash always piles up. Appliances always break down. Pools always need cleaning. And while most people keep waiting for the idea of the century, the one who bends down, gets their hands dirty, and starts with what they have, is the one who ends up with the financial freedom that everyone says they want but few are willing to build. I'll leave you with something that stuck with me. In the United States, there are 36 million small businesses. The vast majority, 82%, are operated by a single person. That means millions of people have already made the decision to work for themselves, with no partners, no investors, no asking for permission. The question isn't whether it's possible. The question is how much longer you're going to wait. If this video made you think differently about at least one of these businesses, drop a comment telling me which one it was. And if you know someone who's been looking for years for what business to start, share this video with them. It might be exactly what they needed to hear. Hit that like button if you made it this far, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.